Hello, hello. Cindy Lee here, growing your business through referrals podcast, and my sister from another mister, Holly McDonald, Costa Mesa Pod, and we'll be right back. How are you?
I'm great. Thank you so much for having me.
Yes, of course. So, Costa Mesa Pod. I've been on there a few times. I've sent several friends to your podcast, and especially Sean Cordes, as well as my colleagues over at the Surf City Splash. So thank you for being willing to get the word out on what they're doing and making a difference in the community.
Oh, of course. No, thank you. You've got a great sphere, and everybody is so awesome and speaks so highly of you. So it's always a win.
So I'm going to pop off. I'm going to post this in a few pages. Would you be comfortable, of course, talking for a couple minutes? Talk all about Costa Mesa Pass, how it started, and all about your YouTube page, and I'll be right back. Okay.
Well, hello. So I'm Holly McDonald, and I am a realtor. I've specialized in Costa Mesa real estate. I've been here for 15 years, and I currently have a podcast called the Costa Mesa Pod that really focuses on the people, the businesses, the lifestyle that make the area such a cool place to live. I'm not originally from here, but I did land in Costa Mesa around 2008. And at the time was just trying to figure out, like, is this a place that I really want to stay and plant roots and have it not be so temporal? I made a great community here. There's awesome people. There is so much to do. It really started to feel like home pretty quickly. And as a realtor, I wanted to help other people realize what it was like to live here and what makes it so special. Because when you're coming from somewhere else and you don't know all of the ins and outs, it can be daunting. You're like, how does this city differ from another? What is the vibe? What can I expect? What can I find? And I've met so many great people and there are so many great businesses here too. And just to be able to highlight their stories, what makes them unique, what they do special for the community, that's been pretty tremendous. So I've been growing that for the last 3 years and made many, many connections and have really been able to showcase what the community has to offer. I post the podcast on YouTube in full and then in a series of shorts and reels, and a lot of that goes on most of the social media channels as well. So you'll see a lot of it on Instagram. There's a lot of collaboration there. There's a lot of resharing, and there's just always something to do in the area. And that's one of the things that, for me, coming from a city, coming from LA, coming from Boston, coming from like the outer suburbs of New York, I wanted a place that wasn't going to be sleepy. Like, I wanted there to be stuff to do, but also wanted there to be downtime, and loved that it was so close to the beach, and just all of these things, and hearing the stories about the different people and all of the events going on. There's just always something great to highlight and be able to share that with the community. So I've been doing that for about 3 years now, and launching into 2026. I'm just excited to grow that further.
Well, unfortunately, I told you earlier I was having issues with Spectrum. So we were able to do the live today, but I can't share the podcast anywhere. But we can repurpose it tomorrow. I'm going to repurpose it on YouTube. So let's get into it. So what inspired you to be a podcaster? Was that on your bucket list as your career bucket list, to be able to get the word out and, share what people are doing here locally?
No, podcasting. No, I mean, I was in the communications field. I went to school for communications and studied that, and worked in TV production for a while. So very much behind the scenes. I mean, I'm sure there was a period in which I thought like maybe being a newscaster would be fun, but podcasting didn't even exist when I was younger. That would have been like adjacent to like a radio host or something like that. Yes. So no, it wasn't, but I always have loved communication and being able to see and share what's going on around in the community. And when podcasting became more of a thing that people were doing, I realized that I loved listening to the podcast so much, and that there was opportunity to do it. Like, it was something that people can do, like, it didn't seem like it was that far out of reach. Now, it took me a while to get started. I had a hard time figuring out, setting all of that up. and it's still like a learning experience. It's evolving so much, but doing it it's been really rewarding. I've gotten to talk to people, share the stories of people that I, might not have ever otherwise really interacted with. Honestly, it's opened a lot of doors, and it's been a great way to promote people too. And people love to share about themselves, and why not? Like, this is a great platform to do it on.
And it's especially our friend Sean Cordes. We're doing whatever we can to get the word out on getting a kidney donor for him, as well as Ed Romo. He runs that bike parade right around 4th of July weekend. So definitely some people in our community that are doing great things.
That's one of the greatest things I think about it, is like, it gives you ample opportunity to shout some of these great things from the rooftops, just to give it more exposure. And there are so many great people doing great things, and every way we can spread it, the better. I mean, it used to be like the newspapers, and while they still exist and are part of it, social media, podcasting, all of that has really been a great way to be able to leverage that.
So actually, being an ambassador of National Day Calendar, and with our collab relationship, I actually bought one of these for you. So we can meet here in the next couple of days. So this is the desktop version. We also have a wall calendar, but for everything you've done for me and just all the amazing people that you get on your podcast through my connection, just as a thank you, I'm going to be doing that here in the next couple of days. So let's talk about what today is. So National Bagel Day, National Hat Day, Strawberry Ice Cream Day. Of course, a big shout out. We have a strawberry ice cream event over at the Creative Ice Company in Fountain Valley here in a couple hours. And more importantly, Get to Know Your Customer Day. So what are you doing to get to know your customers throughout the year? Birthdays, half birthdays, what are you doing to make a difference there?
Wow. Well, half birthdays is a great idea, actually. But yes, birthdays, a lot of the time, all of the time, really, I reach out whenever somebody that I've worked with has, the date of their anniversary of them buying a house or whatnot. That's a really nice way to keep in touch and be able to find out more about what's going on in their life. How has it changed? A lot of times I'll find out from a client that they've had a baby, or something exciting, and sometimes the not so exciting stuff too, but it's just a great way to stay in touch with everybody and show them that, like, I'm thinking about you, I care about you, I truly do. So it's always nice to have that extra touch.
So is there a certain platform and like a certain topic that you would speak on? Because just now I have my friend Mary West with the Mary West Network, and she has a great event that she does a couple times a year where she has speakers come in and talk about different topics. Like I'm going to be talking about YouTube, like all the things you need to know about YouTube, about, uploading a thumbnail and the intro and outro and all that type of stuff. Is there some topic that you are very good at that you could speak at a particular event, either the Mary West Network or other people that I could connect you to?
Oh my gosh, that would be amazing. I would love that. I think some of it would have to do with just social connections and realizing that it's not just sharing about you on media. It is media, right? But like, it's also about connecting people, and which is what you're so good at, honestly.
Thank you.
What I like to do though is just let people know what's going on, and there's always like something happening, or some reopening or remodel of a place, or a new place coming in, or a place that is doing a new kind of event, and being able to share that with everybody so that they get more exposure. So just kind of like providing like PSAs for the community, essentially. That's one thing. I love doing that through the podcast.
Yeah, and that's actually what I did yesterday. I went to this restaurant for National Pastrami Day. And so now I'm going to repurpose the video later on today. And so not just on Pastrami Day, but other reasons that people can stimulate that business. And so my Bucket List Coach web show, which is my other podcast, that's where I come and I visit local restaurants. I actually have a sticker that this restaurant was reviewed. Like for instance, when I go to the ice cream shop, I'll leave one of my stickers there. So just really important to make a difference and to tell more people about these restaurants, especially the Sean Cordes group. The HB Quarantine Cuisine is really great because that was started during the COVID time. And it's really got a lot of people to stay open. It got more people to their brand. And a lot of people never even realized that certain restaurants are in, in our community. And so it's a really great way for people to, create community together.
I think it not only creates community, but it creates stability, right? Like it makes a place feel like home. And when you know that you have like your local place and that you're supporting it and that they care about you too, and it's like a reciprocal relationship, it makes it so much more fulfilling, like you feel seen when you walk in and you feel like you are more than just like a dollar sign. And that's really rewarding too.
Well, let's talk about collaboration. So, collaborating with this local shop that has amazing ice cream, and their ice cream is actually from Wisconsin, and they also do Hawaiian ice, and their syrup is with no high fructose corn syrup, which is super important, especially with kids. All that high fructose is really bad. So, just find ways to collaborate with other companies because your other business is a real estate. So you could collaborate with a sushi making company, a pizza company. Let's just say get to know your customers is a couple times throughout the year. So you can hire one of those types of companies and celebrate your customers on those days. Also, the anniversary of your customers' business when they founded their business. It's another way to celebrate your customers.
That's a really awesome idea, actually. And I'm going to have to start deferring to all of the bucket list days to know like which days are what. But I do want to shout out Brittany. I know Brittany Creative Ice. She has been to some events that I've done in the past, and her shop is the cutest.
So what is your favorite flavor, or do you like the Hawaiian ice?
Oh, we like the Hawaiian ice, the shaved ice. It's so good. But she even has like cotton candy and stuff. And then she's got all these wonderful board games to really make it like a place that you want to hang out. It's awesome.
Okay, so is there any other collaborators that you're working with as well?
I mean, I feel like I collaborate with so many members of the community. It's all across the board, from anything home related, of course, service related, to like our local restaurants, our local shops, that type of thing. And even just different events, that the city and other groups and organizations are putting on. I mean, it really runs the gamut.
Are you with any of the chambers? Because you can do a ribbon cutting. You could collaborate with another business. You could do it that way as a collaboration as well.
I have been looking into that, and it's actually on my list of to-dos. So not yet though. I'm not a member of a chamber at the moment. I'm just part of different networking events right now.
Yeah, same here. So I'm actually looking to join the Fountain Valley Chamber. And so if you become an ambassador of a chamber, let's say Costa Mesa or Irvine or wherever you decide, you're actually getting in front of more people by being an ambassador.
Yeah. Well, and Fountain Valleys is really good too. I think, you'll be meeting with Brittany today, so you'll find out more about it, I'm sure.
Yes. So let's talk more about being a podcaster and the value that it brings by you making a difference to those guests that you have on.
Yeah, I think it just really gives them a chance to share their story more about who they are than just a pitch or a commercial. I mean, a lot of times we go on social media and some businesses do it better than others, but some are just throwing up ads, right? And like that doesn't necessarily resonate or tug at your heartstrings. It might be a reminder that you're there, but being able to ask people those questions to really have them open up so that the community feels like they know them a little bit more. And also just to hear how they're supporting and giving back too. I think that just creates a sense of, friendship and like we're all in this together.
So I don't know if you've been watching my journey while I was in Cabo and Ensenada, but I got connected from someone, and she connected me to someone else. Because my original podcast was Asking the Connector, but since I'm working on the book, everything is done through the book now. And his name is Hector the Connector. So what are the odds that Cindy the Connector would meet Hector the Connector? So he manages this beach in Cabo. He picks up people from a boat, like right there at the port. And then he takes us down, and then he brings us back. So it's kind of crazy that Cindy the Connector would meet Hector the Connector. So
I mean, it makes perfect sense. But how cool!
I wish I had a boat. I could send someone to an island, right?
You have like the most amazing journeys that you get to go on. How fun!
So what are some of the challenges that you face, and how can you surpass that as a business owner? What's the best way to surpass challenges without quitting and giving up?
Oh my gosh, I think a lot of it comes down to mindset, and I used to think that that was baloney. I was like,
Like,
I've got a good mindset, but then there are times when you don't, like you're up against either a tough market or tough people. There's so many things that could be, or just your own life could be in turmoil, and you're like, how do I stay and like not only just motivate myself, but just keep going. When you're in I think in any job it can be like lonely, but also when you're in a job where you're like a solopreneur type of thing,
mhm.
you're that much more like alone and out there on a raft. But that being said, that's how it would feel sometimes when things get, life gets hard. But I've learned so much about like reframing and just changing, looking at things differently and challenging the mindsets that are more difficult, so that it's much easier for me today to just be like, okay, that's not in alignment with whatever is happening. And like, I don't know, just not only just making things positive, but literally seeing things differently has made a huge difference. I don't know if
So
you feel the same way, but
yeah, it's there's been some times where there's been some naysayers to get me to quit. When I started my travel brand, there's a lot of people that said it's never going to work, and here we are from 2018 to 2026, and I have close to 60 travel agents. I have an amazing system for people who want to be a travel agent. I have a whole getting started playbook. Kind of how you have the playbooks in football. So this is for
yeah.
business. And so I want to say two of my biggest inspirations is author Bob Berg. I don't know if you ever heard of the book Go Giver and Go Giver Sell More. And he teaches you
Ooh.
to be a go giver versus a go getter.
Okay.
And also Ivan Meisner with B&I. He has the same type of mindset, like putting other people first before yourself. And
Mhm.
that's really how you're going to grow. And then also about a year before I started my business, I was at a surf museum in Santa Cruz. I came out of the museum and said, "Hi, how are you?" I always like to greet people, compliment them. And he actually had a list, and he said, "Do you know that I have a bucket list?" And I believe Belize was on there. So he had some kind of disability. His name is Tony. And whenever I have a bad day now or throughout the years since I started my brand, I look at that picture of him, because when I seen that bucket list he had in hand, then that was a true, just from the universe type of thing, that it was time for me to step up my game on what I was doing. So the year from there is when I started my travel agency. And also Anthony Bourdain was a huge inspiration when I was a chef. And then when he started writing about travel, I started writing about food and travel as well. So kind of followed in his footsteps. So find someone who inspires you. So on those bad days, you want to be constantly inspired by that person or that book, right?
Yeah, I think I've been also focusing, like it's the beginning of the year. So of course, a lot of people, and myself included in the past, have been very set on, okay, this is the start of a new chapter. And sure, in some ways it is, but also you can't just, like pigeonhole yourself into, it's January 1, so it's go time. Like any day of the year, any minute of the day, it could be go time. So just because something didn't happen on such and such date, don't let that like discourage you from reaching any of your other goals or wherever you want to go. Like excuses. No, no, no.
And you want to have a partner. You want to have an accountability partner. How many people do you know? I'm going to release some weight, right? So they join the gym, let's say January 2nd. By February 2nd or March 2nd, they're gone. You never see them at the gym again,
Yeah.
because they didn't have that inspiration. They didn't have an accountability partner or workout partner. So you really should have a workout partner in everything you do, in your business, your health, your wealth, all that stuff. And
Ooh.
yeah, I've failed on the weight release, and because I've a lot going on over the last year, but I'm ready to go back on track and have someone keep me accountable to meet all those goals, it's business and health. It's super, super important. And if you want longevity in life, you really need to work on those.
Yeah, such a more fulfilling life.
Add value to your life, yes. Okay, so in closing, what are some of your networking tips? And then I'll give some of my networking tips.
Ooh, good question. So I wasn't big on networking for a while. I'll backtrack. When I was in Los Angeles and working in TV production, a lot of that world was networking. And at that time, I was like fresh out of college. I loved it. Like that was so much fun. But then it got to be kind of a drag, you know?
Yeah.
Anyway, full circle moment. Currently, I've been networking more so in the last year to year and a half, and really, like you said, kind of valuing those relationships, getting to know the people, not looking at it more so like what can I do to contribute to your business versus what can you do to get me more business or make it better for me. So just much more of a service-minded attitude, and really not going in there thinking about like, oh, are they judging me? What, you know, should I be shy? Anything like that. Just owning it in a way, just being like, I'm here, like I have something to contribute, and I might as well open up and share to people, because you never know like what each conversation is going to do. It doesn't have to necessarily impact you anyway. Like it could just be like with you, Cindy, you've introduced me to so many people, and I love finding out more about them. Like it broadens my whole worldview.
Mm-hmm. Well, one of the things I'm going to talk about, so this will apply for a chamber or a local event, you know, where you meet people. Mm-hmm. So one of the things you should not do is throw your business card at someone, because that's usually what a lot of people do. I have a digital business card, but I do hand out my business card, but I do it a little bit different. When I'm at a networking event, I go up to someone and I say, in 2 or 3 sentences, who would you like to meet? Give me about 20, 30 minutes. So I work the room, I come back, and I either introduce them physically to that person, or I give them the business card. And they'll say, well, Cindy, I want to get to know about you. And like, well, today's not about me. It's about this person that I'm connecting you to. In a couple of days, let's meet for coffee, you know, either virtual or in person. And, you know, let's start building that rapport that way. Because a lot of people, all they care about is the sale. They do not care about the relationship. And number one, the relationship is always first. The business will come later. Even in the networking groups that you're in, I'm sure you know that you have to build those relationships first. It's not about the sale.
Absolutely. No, I love that. It's in line.
People have to know, like, and trust you in order to refer you.
Which is why we will not be replaced by AI, but AI will enhance our lives.
Well, AI has been great. I actually did the foreword for my coach who wrote the foreword on my book. Nice. He said, just go ahead and go to AI. I'm like, really? He goes, yeah, go to AI. You know, here's all the parameters, you know, put all your parameters in there. And I came back and he said, oh yeah, you just need to add this title. And it was done.
I love it.
I did the foreword in less than 3 minutes. So.
We live in such an exciting time. Like I'm like, oh, there's so much happening. It's awesome.
Yeah, and going back to Brittany, I actually met Brittany because she posted on HB Quarantine Cuisine for, it was some kind of special or holiday. And I said, well, I actually represent the National Day Calendar brand. You know, I would like to come out. And I actually sent her a 2025 and 2026 calendar. So she has that hanging in her back area there. And that's really a great way for anybody who's listening, or Holly, what you can do is you can go through the calendar. Once I give you the calendar, and look at different days that you could connect with other businesses, not just food related businesses, but different types of businesses that will, you know, benefit, like National Donut Day, National Popcorn Day is coming up on the 19th, Mentoring Day is the 17th. So there's different ways that you can do, like the person who mentored you in your business, you could do something nice for him or her.
That's a great idea. I love that. I can't wait.
So in closing, what is the one thing that you will do, let's say this week or this weekend, that'll make a difference to a complete stranger?
Oh, that's a great question. I will go ahead and just talk to somebody that looks lonely and just ask about them and their day. Because I think a lot of times people are just like, yearning to be seen a little bit, and just to give them that opportunity to come out of their shell and feel like they're important to, will hopefully make their day a little bit better.
So a couple months ago, was in San Francisco. I'm a huge Anthony Bourdain fan. And I went to one of his favorite prime rib restaurants, the House of Prime Rib. And there's a chef that cooks in this dome. So he's slicing everything up, the Yorkshire pudding, everything in there. And then the waitress, she did a amazing dressing, and she tossed it right in front of us, right tableside right there. And I told this chef, I said, do you have a Venmo? He goes, oh, I can't remember the Venmo. I said, I want to give you a separate tip. You did so amazing. And this is huge on my Anthony Bourdain bucket list. And I said, you know what? I'm going to send you a mug. So I got busy with my trip. And actually last night I sent him a mug, and I sent the server a mug. So on one side it says that I believe it's the 26th or 27th. So it says National Prime Rib Day, the 27th. And then on the other side, it had a quote about, being a culinarian or being a chef. The best job on the planet, or the best gig on the planet is being a culinarian. And I had the same thing for the waitress, but it said food server on there. So now they're probably going to hold on to that mug for as long as they can, until it breaks. Because just little things like that, you're going to make a difference. And for coming on the show, you'll get of course, the calendar and something really nice in the mail. It's really, really important to make a difference. And when you see a stranger, even like when I go to Costco, I tell myself, I'm going to compliment 10 people today. And I'll tell you, maybe 2 people respond. It's very sad that people aren't living a more abundant life, but there's a lot of people who, when you compliment them, they don't say anything. And then you got those ones when you say, oh, your smile is wonderful. You have a great smile. I love your outfit. I love your suit. And just little things like that, because you don't know what that person is dealing with.
Yeah.
They can be dealing with something, that was tragic, or they lost a friend or something like that. So just go out in your community, make a difference, and compliment everyone who crosses your path. And also call at least 5 people a day and let them know that you're grateful. Because at the end of the day, we don't know if there's another day. So just kind of have that mindset for this year. And let's have gratitude be our word for the year. How about you? What do you think your word for the year is going to be?
Oh, so I know my word of the year. My word of the year is home. And I know it comes across as like she's a realtor, but it is more so about feeling at home. I would literally, my kids were both homesick today. Thank you for this break. But I was like, there is no place else I would feel like more comfortable. Like I just want people to feel like they're in their spot, whether it's inside their household or when they go out in town, when they go to the supermarket, even just like they feel safe, like they feel at home. So home is my word.
I actually had a housekeeping business about 35 years ago. And my tagline was home is where the heart is. So that's pretty cool that you have that. And it's important to separate that. If you're a business entrepreneur, you need to spend your home time and your business time, and you need to have your me time. I'm not just, you and your husband time, but you need a Holly time. You need to spend one day a week where you spend 3 or 4 hours, get a massage or go have a glass of wine with a girlfriend, something like that. Just, you really want to have an abundant life. But yeah, I know so many people who work, even on vacation, they're working, so it's so important to step outside of that work mindset and do different things to keep you more abundant. Because if you're working 7 days a week, that's not healthy at all. It's just important to surround yourself by amazing people who support you as well.
Thank you. Cindy, you are always such like a joy to talk to. You have just such a cool perspective on being a nice human and grateful. Thank you.
Anybody you would like to shout out to today?
Everybody that has been on or part of my podcast, I thank you. And also the guests that you've introduced me to. They've been just such great people with great stories, so willing to give back to the community. I mean, thank you. And thank you, Cindy, of course.
Oh, yes. Thank you. Thank you for having me on. And I'm going to be doing another Disney promo too.
Oh, fun.
They
Okay.
have our national bucket list day for my other podcast. We're going to be spending it in San Diego this year at an amazing resort, Margaritaville Resort. So, and we're even doing a half day trip to Tijuana. I don't know if you knew that the Caesar salad was actually made in Tijuana by a gentleman called Caesar Cardone. It was not created
No.
in Rome. Yeah, so we're going to be doing a half day trip there, for like 3 or 4 hours in Tijuana. And it's just important to go out and create experiences. A lot of you that are listening, you may say, well, I can't take an extravagant vacation. I can't do this. I can't do that. And you got to keep that apostrophe T and put it in the garbage, right? Put it behind you. You want to say can. And it's so important that people realize that a lot of people's verbiage is learned, maybe from our parents or from our peers, when we're younger. But take that apostrophe T away from your vocabulary and say, I can do this, I can do that.
I love
Super
that.
important. Okay, so at the end of the show, I want to ask you, what is the ideal guest that you're looking for the Costa Mesa podcast? Who else would you like to meet?
I would like to meet people that really, truly love the community. I love having people on that do have businesses here that support the community, or they're part of groups that are that contribute to the community as well. Anything. I also love nonprofit type of work or charitable organizations that are doing good work in the community that maybe don't have a ton of marketing budget, but just want to get the word out there more about all of the good things that they're doing.
Okay, great. And shout out to your YouTube again.
Yes, I have a YouTube channel as well, I would love for people to go there too. There's a lot of great, not only real estate information, the podcast is of course there, and lots of short little reels too, where you can just get bite-sized chunks.
And I'm thinking I would like to introduce you to my publisher, because he could come on for anybody who wants to learn to write a book or get a book started and get that published, all the different steps, because a lot of people, they're reaching out to the wrong people, and some bad things happen with publishing and everything. So I would really like, his name is Patrick Snow, and get him on your podcast so he could kind of shed a little light on how amazing it is to be an author and the different steps to do that if you're looking for that type of guest on your show.
Amazing. Yes, would love that.
And I also have the Mary West Network. Mary West, she's on here. I would like to connect you to her. Matter of fact, after the show, I'll send a message to connect you. And then I'll make a list of people that are going to be really great. Have you heard of the RAAD podcast? He's out of Irvine.
Oh, yes, I have heard of it. Yeah.
Oh, okay. Have you met Rad?
No, just heard of it.
I'll connect you to him too. Okay, so we're going to do Patrick.
Cindy, who can I connect you to? Who do you want? Who else do you want connections with?
I want to think about that. Well, people who need help with marketing. Yeah. So actually my top client for my marketing company are realtors and insurance brokers. Those are the ones who need to follow up the most. So I would say those are the referrals I'm looking for. And of course, if you know small business owners who maybe they're struggling a little bit and they don't really have a database of people to start connecting to, those are the people I want to meet. I just want to connect your people to my people. That's just basically what I want. Yeah. So
great.
Okay. So just hang tight 1 minute. We'll close out the show, and just stay in the green room just 1 second.
Sure.
All right. We got some messages here. Okay. We got Mary West and Mary West. Okay. And then I'll send you the YouTube video as well. Okay, let me just go back here. Okay, guys. So this is Holly and Cindy, Growing Your Business Referrals podcast. Make sure that you go to YouTube and type in Costa Mesa Pod or Costa Mesa Podcast. And if you are a small to medium-sized business, you're located here, Huntington Beach, Anaheim, Santa Ana, this whole gamut of Southern California, she's definitely the one to get more eyes on your brand. We'll see you here just on the other side.